You ever find yourself standing in the middle of chaos? Everything's spinning around you like a storm that just won't let up. I've been there. Trust me, I know what it feels like. That tension in your chest, the weight on your shoulders, it's almost like the world's testing just how much you can take. But here's the thing, real peace, I'm talking about unshakable peace. It isn't found in the absence of chaos. It's found right in the middle of it. People often think peace is what you get when life finally calms down, when the noise stops and everything lines up perfectly. But that's an illusion, man. Life doesn't wait for you to be ready. It's throwing punches. It's testing your resolve. And if you're waiting for the world to be quiet, you'll be waiting forever. Unshakable peace is about finding stillness in the storm. It's about knowing who you are and what you stand for, even when everything around you is falling apart. Look, the mind is powerful. It's like this untamed beast that can either work for you or against you. Most people, they let it run wild. They let fear, doubt, and uncertainty steer the ship. But the real power, the kind of power that leads to spiritual growth, that comes when you learn to master your mind. I'm not talking about pretending everything's perfect. I'm talking about building an inner fortress. It's about Stoic philosophy, learning to accept what you can't control and mastering what you can. Marcus Aurelius said it best, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. That strength, that peace, it's forged in moments of adversity, when everything's crumbling and you still choose calm. That's the secret. That's what separates those who are controlled by life and those who control their life. And the best part, once you experience that kind of peace, you don't ever want to go back. You realize that nothing outside of you can shake what's rooted deep within. Stick with me, because throughout this video, I'm going to break this down. I'm going to show you exactly how to unlock that unshakable peace. I'm not just talking concepts, I'm talking real steps, real change. If you want to finally stop feeling like life is happening to you and start mastering how you respond to it, you're in the right place. Because I'm about to reveal the real secrets that most people never get to learn. Now, let's get started, because peace isn't something you find. It's something you build. You see, most people chase peace like it's something they gotta find out there. They think it's in a better job, a bigger house, a perfect relationship. That's the trap. That's the illusion that keeps you running, keeps you exhausted. I learned that peace isn't something external, it's internal. It's a choice you make every single day. You have to decide that nothing outside of you is gonna shake what's inside of you. That's the core of unshakable peace. Think about it like this, life is unpredictable, man. It doesn't ask permission to throw challenges your way. You could wake up tomorrow, everything could change. The question is, how are you gonna respond? Most people panic, they react emotionally, they let the chaos of the moment determine their state of mind. But if you've built that peace within you, it doesn't matter what comes. Storms may rage, people may disappoint you, plans may fall apart, but you stay grounded. That's power. That's real power. I remember times when everything seemed like it was going off the rails. I'm talking real life chaos, moments that could have broken me. But I had to make a decision right there, right in the middle of the storm. I could let it consume me, or I could stand firm, look it dead in the eyes, and decide, and it wasn't gonna shake me. That's what I'm talking about. That's where spiritual growth happens, not when everything's perfect, but when everything's falling apart and you still choose calm. People often ask me how I keep it together when things get rough. And I tell them, it's not that I don't feel the weight of it. It's not that I don't feel fear or doubt or frustration. It's that I don't let those things control me. I acknowledge them, but I don't live in them. I let them pass through me, but I don't build a house for them to stay. That's the difference. Most people, they invite chaos in. They let it live rent-free in their minds. But when you master peace, real unshakable peace, you learn to guard your mind. You learn to protect that space because you know it's sacred. And that's what I want for you. I want you to experience that kind of peace. I want you to wake up every morning knowing that no matter what happens, you're good. You're solid. You're unshakable. Because when you live like that, life stops being something you survive and starts being something you create. That's when you step into true power. That's when you start living, not just existing. And the craziest part, this isn't reserved for some special group of people. This isn't just for the enlightened or the spiritually gifted. It's for anyone willing to do the work. Anyone willing to face themselves, to master their mind, to build that inner fortress that no storm can tear down. Because once you got that, once you build that foundation, the world stops feeling so heavy. You walk lighter, you breathe easier, and you move with purpose. And that's what I'm going to show you, how to build that, how to create unshakable peace from the inside out. Because it's not just possible, it's waiting for you to claim it. Now let's talk about the real challenge. It's one thing to understand unshakable peace, but it's another thing entirely to live it. See, the world is designed to test you. It's not going to hand you peace on a silver platter. It's going to throw distractions, fears, and frustrations your way just to see if you're serious. And this is where most people fall off. They understand the concept, but when life presses in, they fold. They let the outside world dictate their inner state. But if you want real peace, I'm talking unshakable peace, you gotta flip that. Your inner world has to be stronger than your outer circumstances. Think about it. Every single day, you wake up to a world that's chaotic. Social media is throwing noise at you. The news is built to trigger fear. People around you are sometimes lost in their own storms. And if you're not careful, you get swept up in that. You become part of the noise, part of the chaos. But when you learn to master your own peace, you become untouchable. The world keeps spinning, storms keep coming, but you stay grounded. I'm reminded of those old Stoic principles, man. I studied that stuff deeply. Those guys, they figured it out a long time ago. Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca, they understood that peace wasn't about controlling the world. It was about controlling yourself. They lived in times of war, political upheaval, even slavery, but they found peace not in changing their circumstances, but in mastering their minds. That's Stoic philosophy at its core. Accept what you can't change, master what you can. And let me tell you, when you live that out, it's like wearing armor in a storm. Nothing gets in, nothing shakes you. Now, I know what you're thinking. That all sounds good, but how do you do it? How do you actually build that kind of peace when everything around you is falling apart? And that's what we're diving into. It starts with one simple truth. You gotta stop looking for peace outside of you. I'm serious. The moment you make your peace dependent on things you can't control, you've already lost. Whether it's someone else's opinion, your job, your finances, if your peace is tied to that, you're handing over your power. Real peace is untouchable because it's built inside. It's yours and yours alone. I remember reading about Viktor Frankl, a guy who survived the worst conditions you can imagine. He was in the middle of suffering most people couldn't even fathom, but he still found peace. Not because his surroundings changed, but because he chose to master his inner world. That's the secret right there. He chose to believe that even when everything is taken from you, you still have the freedom to choose your response. And that choice, that's where unshakable peace lives. You gotta train your mind like you would a muscle. It doesn't just happen because you want it to. It happens because you work at it. You practice it daily. You build habits that protect your peace. That means saying no to drama, avoiding toxic situations, and refusing to entertain thoughts that steal your joy. It means controlling what you can and letting go of what you can't. And when you do that consistently, man, your life starts to change. Things that used to shake you don't even touch you anymore. You walk through chaos with your head held high because you know your peace is untouchable. And the best part, once you have it, nobody can take it from you. Not circumstances, not people, not even failure. Because that peace, it's rooted deep. It's not based on what's happening around you. It's based on what's happening within you. And that's where real freedom is found. You know, when I first started understanding this idea of unshakable peace, it felt almost impossible. How could you stand in the middle of a storm and not get soaked? How could you watch everything around you shift, fall apart, or explode into chaos and still keep your peace intact? But that's the thing about real peace. It's not dependent on what's happening around you. It's dependent on what's happening inside you. And that's the shift. That's the key that most people miss. Most people are living in reaction. Somebody cuts them off in traffic and their whole day is ruined. Their boss says something out of line and it eats them up inside. A friend doesn't show up for them and they carry that disappointment around like a weight. But here's the truth. If your peace is that fragile, then you don't have peace, you have comfort. And comfort is easily disrupted. Unshakable peace, on the other hand, that's different. That's built on a foundation that isn't moved by what other people do or don't do. It's built on principles. It's built on strength. I look back at some of the most challenging moments of my life, and I realized those were the times that tested my peace the most. But they were also the moments that revealed the strength I didn't know I had. That's what adversity does. It's like a mirror that shows you exactly where your weaknesses are. If you crumble, it's not the storm's fault. It's revealing where you still need to grow, where you still need to build. And that's powerful, man, because once you see it, you can fix it. You can get stronger. But I want you to understand something crucial. Unshakable peace doesn't mean you don't feel things. It doesn't mean you're immune to pain or frustration. It means you don't let those things control you. You experience them, you acknowledge them, but you don't let them steer your ship. You're the captain, not your emotions. And when you realize that, when you truly embrace that, your life starts to shift. You stop reacting and you start responding. You move with intention, not impulse. One of the greatest examples of this kind of peace is found in Stoic philosophy. Those guys were masters of internal control. They believed that peace wasn't found in changing your surroundings, but in mastering your response to them. Epictetus once said, "We suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our judgment about them." That's powerful. It means that no matter what happens, you have the power to decide how you're going to feel about it. You have the power to protect your peace. Now, this doesn't mean you ignore the problems around you. It doesn't mean you pretend everything's perfect when it's not. It means you handle it differently. You approach it with calm, with clarity, with intention. You solve problems without letting them disrupt your spirit. That's what makes it unshakable. It's rooted deep, it's steady, and it's unyielding. And when you learn to live like that, when you train your mind to find peace in the midst of pressure, you become unstoppable. The world may still throw storms your way, but they don't shake you like they used to. You become a pillar in your own life, immovable, unbreakable. People start to notice that calm, that strength, and they wonder how you do it. But the secret is simple. You stop letting the outside world control your inner state. You take back your power. That's what I want you to understand. Peace is not a destination. It's a decision. It's a daily practice, a choice you make every single day. And the more you practice it, the stronger it gets. Until one day, the storms come and you don't even flinch. Let's get deeper into this. I want you to really understand what unshakable peace looks like in action. See, a lot of people talk about peace as if it's this distant concept, something only monks on mountain ops get to experience. But the truth is, it's something you can live out right now, right in the middle of your everyday life. It's not about escaping the noise. It's about not letting the noise get inside you. And that's the real test, isn't it? It's easy to feel calm when everything's going right. But when life starts throwing punches, that's when you find out what kind of peace you've built. Think about the people you admire, most the ones who seem unshaken by the chaos around them. They're steady, grounded, and immovable. It's not because their lives are perfect. It's because they've learned the secret. Peace isn't found in perfection. It's found in mastery over your own mind. And the truth is, it's a practice. It's a discipline. It's something you have to work at every single day. Because the world is relentless, man. It's always going to try and pull you out of that calm. But if you've built your peace on the inside, it doesn't matter what's happening on the outside. I remember hearing about a man named James Stockdale. He was a soldier captured as a prisoner of war for over 7 years. 7 years in the worst conditions you could imagine: torture, isolation, complete uncertainty. But he survived, not just physically, but mentally. When they asked him how he made it through, he said something powerful. He said, "I never lost faith in the end of the story." That's what unshakable peace looks like. It's the ability to hold your ground, to keep your mind steady, even when everything around you is falling apart. Most people, they wait for the storm to pass to feel peace. But what if you could feel it in the middle of the storm? What if you could train your mind to be still even when everything else is shaking? That's not just strength, that's freedom. And that's where spiritual growth really happens. It's not in the moments of comfort, it's in the moments of chaos. That's where you find out who you really are. Look, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying it's worth it. The world is full of distractions, full of noise, full of things trying to steal your peace. But when you build it on the inside, it becomes untouchable. It doesn't matter what people say. It doesn't matter what happens at work. It doesn't matter if life throws you a curveball, you remain steady. That's what true power looks like. That's what it means to master your mind. And here's the truth: the more you practice it, the stronger it gets. Peace is like a muscle, you gotta work it out. You gotta challenge it. You gotta put it under pressure. Because every time you do, it gets stronger, more resilient. That's how you go from being easily shaken to becoming unmovable. That's how you go from reacting to responding, from living in fear to living in strength. And when you walk like that, people start to notice. They see that calm in you. They see that strength. They might not understand it, but they respect it, because deep down, everyone's looking for that kind of peace. Everyone wants to know how to stay steady when life is chaotic. And when you become that example, you don't just change your life, you inspire others to change theirs. But you know what? Here's where it gets real. Most people don't want to do the work. They want the results. They want the unshakable peace, the spiritual growth, the sense of common purpose, but they're not willing to go through the process. Because the process isn't glamorous. It's not flashy. It's built in those quiet moments when nobody's watching. It's in the decisions you make when life is testing you the hardest. It's in the choice to stay calm when everything inside you wants to react. That's where real peace is built, brick by brick, moment by moment. You ever see those people who always seem unbothered? I'm talking about the ones who don't get rattled by gossip, by setbacks, by failures. It's like they're walking through life with this invisible shield. That's not luck. That's discipline. That's a mindset forged through experience and commitment to mastering their own reactions. Because here's the truth: you can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you respond to it. And that response, that's where your peace lives. Look, I've been through my share of storms, moments where it felt like the whole world was crashing down. People turning their backs, projects failing, personal losses, real heavy stuff. But I realized something in those moments. My peace couldn't be conditional. It couldn't be based on how well things were going. It had to be built on something stronger, something deeper. That's when I started to really dig into Stoic philosophy. That idea of accepting what you can't control and mastering what you can, that became my blueprint. And let me tell you, it works. When you stop trying to control everything, you stop suffering. You let go of the things that are outside your grasp, and you focus all your energy on what you can change. Your mindset, your attitude, your perspective. And when you do that consistently, you start to build real, unshakable peace. You become resilient. You become grounded. The noise around you, it doesn't touch you, it doesn't shake you, because you've built something stronger inside. I want you to think about your own life right now. What are the things that are stealing your peace? Is it the opinions of others? Is it the fear of failure? Is it regret over something that already happened? All of that is noise. All of that is distraction, because the only thing you can control is right now, this moment, this choice. You decide whether you're going to let those things live in your mind or if you're going to take back control. That's your power. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight. But every time you catch yourself reacting instead of responding, every time you decide to breathe instead of breaking, you're building that muscle. You're getting stronger. You're creating that inner fortress. And over time, that fortress becomes unshakable. It becomes your sanctuary, a place where the storms of life can't touch you. And when you reach that point, everything changes. You walk differently. You talk differently. People start to see that calm in you. They see that strength, and they start to wonder how you do it. But it's not a secret. It's just work. It's discipline. It's mastering your mind instead of letting your mind master you. That's how you get to unshakable peace. That's how you step into real power. I want you to think about something for a moment. What would your life look like if you were really unshakable? If no matter what came your way, no matter what challenges, setbacks, or surprises hit, you remain grounded. Imagine walking through your days with that kind of calm. The kind that isn't moved by opinions, isn't broken by failure, and isn't stolen by stress. That's the kind of power I'm talking about. That's what unshakable peace really is. See, most people live their lives at the mercy of what happens to them. If their boss is in a bad mood, their whole day is ruined. If a friend says something hurtful, they carry that pain around for weeks. If they don't get the recognition they wanted, they start questioning their worth. But when you live like that, you're giving away your power. You're letting the outside world dictate your peace. And that's a game you're always going to lose, because the world is unpredictable. It's chaotic. It's noisy. If your peace is tied to how well things are going, then you're never going to be free. That's why I'm talking about spiritual growth, because true peace doesn't come from perfect circumstances. It comes from a trained mind. A mind that knows how to filter out the noise. A mind that understands what's worth holding on to and what's better left behind. Think about it. When you're carrying around other people's opinions, when you're holding onto grudges, when you're replaying past failures, you're not living free. You're living chained, and those chains, they're self-made. I'm reminded of a story I once heard about a monk who lived high up in the mountains. Every day, people from the village would climb all the way up there just to sit with him, just to feel that calm that surrounded him. One day, someone asked him, "How do you stay so peaceful?" And the monk replied, "I stopped arguing with reality." That right there is the essence of Stoic philosophy. You can't control everything, but you can control how you respond. You can choose peace even when the world chooses chaos. I know that sounds simple, but it's powerful. It means that every time you face a challenge, you have a choice. You can react or you can respond. You can let it shake you, or you can let it strengthen you. Most people react, they let their emotions take over. They lash out, they shut down, they hold on to grudges. But people who understand unshakable peace, they respond with calm, with clarity, with strength. They don't let the world pull them off balance. And here's the kicker. When you start living this way, you stop living in fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of loss, it all starts to fade. Because you realize that no matter what happens, you're going to be okay. Not because the world is perfect, but because you are grounded, you are steady, you are unshakable. That's the kind of confidence that changes everything. I've seen it in people who've been through the worst, people who've lost everything, people who faced unspeakable pain. And yet somehow they're still standing, not just standing, they're thriving. They've learned how to protect their peace, how to guard their mind from the chaos around them. And it's not because their lives are easy. It's because they've done the work. They've built that fortress inside. So ask yourself, are you living your life in reaction? Or are you living it with intention? Are you being pulled around by the noise of the world? Or are you standing firm in your own peace? Because the truth is, you can't change the storm, but you can change how you face them. You can build a peace that's unshakable and breakable and unstoppable. I want you to understand something right now. Unshakable peace is not just an idea, it's a weapon. It's a shield. It's the strongest armor you can carry in this world. Because when you master your peace, you become unstoppable. You stop being a puppet to people's opinions. You stop being a victim of your circumstances. You become the author of your own story. And that's what most people don't get. They think peace is just about being calm. But real peace, it's power, it's control, it's freedom. You ever notice how people try to disrupt your peace the moment you find it? It's like the moment you start to rise above the noise gets louder. Critics get bolder, challenges get harder. That's the universe testing you. That's life asking you if you're really ready to hold on to that unshakable peace you've been building. And most people, they crumble. They give it up because it's easier to react than to respond. It's easier to get angry, to get frustrated, to get pulled back into the chaos. But the ones who hold their ground, they're the ones who find true power. Think about some of the most powerful figures in history, not just celebrities, not just the ones in the spotlight, but the ones who changed the world. They were steady. They were unmovable. They had that sense of calm that couldn't be shaken by noise, by criticism, by doubt. It's not that they didn't face storms, it's that the storms didn't move them. That's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of strength that's built through spiritual growth and discipline. You know, I remember hearing about Viktor Frankl, the psychiatrist who survived the concentration camps during the Holocaust. He wrote a book called Man's Search for Meaning, and in it, he shared one of the most powerful lessons I've ever heard. Everything can be taken from a man, but one thing, the last of the human freedoms to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. That's it right there. That's the essence of unshakable peace. When everything is stripped away, when you're left with nothing but your thoughts, the only thing that remains is your power to choose how you respond. And that power, that's everything. Because life isn't going to stop throwing storms your way. It's not going to stop testing you. But if you can master your peace, if you can build that immovable center, then there's nothing that can break you. You stop living in reaction and you start living in creation. You don't just survive the storms, you grow stronger because of them. You don't just endure the noise, you rise above it. Imagine walking into every situation with that kind of confidence. And no more second guessing, no more anxiety over things you can't control. You just move with intention, with clarity, with purpose. That's what Stoic philosophy teaches. That's what spiritual growth demands. And it's available to anyone willing to do the work. And not just read about it, and not just talk about it, but live it, breathe it, become it. And the world will notice. People will see that strength in you. They'll wonder how you stay so calm when everything else is falling apart. But you'll know the truth. You'll know that peace wasn't given to you. You built it, you earned it, and because of that, it can't be taken away. That's the kind of life I want for you. Where you're not just reacting to what happens, but creating what happens. A life where peace isn't just a moment, it's a state of being. It's unshakable. It's yours. Now, if you want more of this, if you want to keep building that strength, that peace, that power within you, I want you to join this journey with us. This is Wisdom Recorder, your knowledge source. If you got value from this, if you felt it, shift even a little bit, hit that subscribe button, like the video, and stay connected. Because this is just the beginning. We're building something powerful, something unshakable. And I want you to be a part of it.